Hey guys, it's Gray with My Struggling AP Students. Today we're going to be talking about Turning the Wheels of Change, an Industrial Revolution overview. So, the first thing is, what is industrialization? Well, industrialization is the development of nations, including machinery and technology. And industrialization was often seen and associated with more wealthy countries. What was the Industrial Revolution? So many countries pushed for industrialization as it was seen as more modern and technologically advanced compared to other economical methods. Industrialization was seen as a Western ideology, as Europe and the USA were the first to industrialize. There's other places industrialized much later, like China and Russia, because they were non-Western states. One exception is Japan, though, as they industrialized much earlier than the rest of Asia. The Industrial Revolution made a lot of great changes when it came to transportation and technology, like the telegraph, railroads, steam engines, and speed of manufacturing.
The Industrial Revolution, spanning from the late 18th to the early 19th century, was a transformative period in human history, particularly in Europe and North America. It ushered in sweeping changes across society, economy, and technology as agrarian economies transitioned into industrialized ones. Innovations like the steam engine and mechanized production methods revolutionized manufacturing processes, leading to unprecedented levels of productivity and economic growth. A notable consequence of the Industrial Revolution was the rapid urbanization it precipitated. Cities expanded rapidly as people migrated from rural areas in search of employment opportunities in factories and mills. This demographic shifted urban landscapes and social structures, giving rise to new communities and urban lifestyles. Socially, the Industrial Revolution brought about profound changes as traditional social hierarchies began to erode. The rise of industrial capitalism led to the emergence of new social classes, with industrial capitalists amassing wealth and power at the expense of the working class. This growing disparity in wealth distribution fueled social tensions and laid the groundwork for subsequent labor movements and political reforms. Moreover, the environmental impact of the industrialization was substantial. The widespread use of coal as a source of energy for steam engines and factories resulted in air and water pollution on an unprecedented scale. Smokestacks belched dark smoke into the air, while rivers and waterways became contaminated with industrial waste, posing serious threats to environmental and public health.
So for the thought bubble, I'm going to be talking about the quality of life. So working conditions and sanitation were pretty bad. The factories were often unsanitary and dangerous to work in, and injuries were common. Wages were often pretty low and kept the lower working class in poverty, while working class families often had all eligible members of the family working, including the children and the parents. Due to this, they formed unions, which were basically a bunch of workers under the same profession, and they were formed due to the demand for workers' rights, and they basically boycotted and went on strikes to encourage changes in working, wages, and conditions. The unions pressured the government and companies to change their policies by striking. Also, for the housing, the sanitation in cities were often poor, and slums were developed on accident due to poor city planning. The rapid development of cities encouraged the poor planning, which is why they were so dirty. Housing was also vastly different for the different classes. So, if you were in a working class, you would probably live in like the slums. But if you were a higher class, you would be living in the better part of the city.
And now with our open letter to James Watt. Dear Mr. Watt, I hope this letter finds you well. My name is Gray Papworth, and I'm writing to you with great admiration for your contributions to engineering and technology, particularly your pioneering work on the steam engine. I've been studying the history of the steam engine and its impacts on the Industrial Revolution, and I find your role in its development to be truly remarkable. As such, I have a few questions that I hope you wouldn't mind answering. How did you first conceive of the idea for the steam engine? What inspired you to pursue its development? Could you tell me about the collaborative process involving in developing the steam engine? How many people were involved in its creation, and were their respective contributions? And what challenges did you face during the development of the steam engine? How did you overcome them? I'm particularly interested in learning about the motivations and experiences behind the creation of such a groundbreaking technology, as well as the collaborative effort that it made it possible. Your insights would be invaluable in helping me better understand the history and significance of the steam engine. I greatly appreciate your time and consideration in responding to these questions. Thank you very much for your contributions to the field of engineering and for enduring legacy of innovation that you left behind. Yours sincerely, Great Papworth. The Industrial Revolution drastically increased the production of goods, revolutionizing economies worldwide. However, it also led to stark differences in housing and living conditions. While industrial centers experienced economic growth, many faced overcrowding and poor sanitation. Despite these challenges, the era laid the groundwork for modern society, shaping future progress and development into what we live in today.